Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read you a story. The Man of the Longboats. Reading it level 3B. The Man of the Longboats. Okay, let's read it. The Vikings are here! When people in the little sea-coast towns of northern Europe heard this cry, some were so afraid they couldn't move. Others grabbed up their children and everything they could carry from their houses and ran and hid in the woods. Still others ran down to the sea with spears or rocks or clubs to fight the Vikings. For this was about 1,000 years ago. The Vikings were good sailors and fierce fighters whose homes were beside rough waters in the cold north. They built oar ships to travel from Norway to Iceland and Greenland, where some settled down. Later, daring Vikings sailed further and further from home. They built special boats to carry goods to people in faraway lands. When the Vikings were traders, they were welcomed, for they traded forests and fish and well oil for whatever things other people had. The ships of other countries did not come to the Northland. The Vikings were the only people brave enough to sail far away with only the sun, moon, and stars to guide them. They also knew which foods to on a voyage to keep healthy. On board they ate cheese, meat, dark bread, and butter. Whenever they went ashore, they searched for fruit. The Vikings found that they could be pirates, as well as traders, and steal some of the things they wanted. Their swords were sharp, and in their swift boats they had no fear or pursuit. For many years, the Vikings ruled the sea, sailing along the coast in boats that looked like sea serpents. They burned towns, stored what they wanted, and even took some people for slaves. Many of the Vikings were fair-haired, and many were tall. In, ba- in battle, they often wore tunics, long shirts, made of iron rings strung together. Their over-shields were made of wood with a metal knob in the center. In their high pointed helmet, they may have seemed that their high pointed helmets they wanted to have seemed like giants to frighten villagers would attack. When the fighting was over, the Vikings sailed home, carrying their stolen goods and their captives. What do you suppose happened to the captured people who became the Viking slaves? New slaves must have been surprised to find that the Vikings were not so fierce at home. There, many of them lived quietly as farmers. Oh, Viking children could swim and ride horseback and sailboats. There weren't any schools, but when Vikings learned how to ride from people in other countries, they made their children learn too. Slaves had to serve their masters, but were generally treated and with kindness. No slave ever has chained to an oar of the Viking ship. Then the Vikings began taking land from people in other countries. In their new lands, the Vikings tried to live as they had at home. But many of the ways of the new lands became their ways, and in time the Vikings became part of new countries. They were no longer Vikings, yet their stories live. The stories tell us that Philip the Lucky, son of Eric the Red, sailed all the way across the Atlantic Ocean before Columbus did. He spent a winter in Vinland, and we know as Newfoundland. Look at the map on the next page. Everything colored red is Viking land. Did anyone in your family, even far from back, come from any of these countries? No. Then perhaps you're related to the Vikings. Ah. Okay, today I read your story. This. The man of the longboats. They were kind. Vikings. Okay. Bye.